started was with a thinking question. And the thinking question involved filling in the blanks in the following hadith. So the hadith says, it has been narrated from Ali ibn Abu Talib, be upon him, the blank is my fort. Whoever says it will enter my fort, and whoever enters my fort is safe from my punishment. So it looks like we have some guesses of what people had thought goes in the blank. So the guesses were the Quran and the Kalima. The correct answer for what fills in the blank is the Kalima of La ilaha illallah. That goes in the blank for filling it out. The Imam then also continues, when this hadith had also been communicated to people, Imam Ali Raza salam had told this to many people. He had told this to 20,000 people. People then began reciting this kalima, and then the Imam told them that the kalima is Allah's fort. It will provide you with excellent safety, but on one condition only, and that is that you obey and follow us, the holy Imams in the progeny of the Holy Prophet. So in today's course, we are going to be looking at ways to form this strong connection and gain closeness to Allah. So before we get started on the presentation, just a few reminders. First one being, in the chat box, please make sure you don't include any personal information like your email address and your phone number. The second one is, please make sure you respect and the responses of other students and don't make fun of any responses. And the third one is, once the classes begin, which is now, please make sure you do not have any other private conversations in the chat box. Inshallah, there will be many opportunities for you to interact in discussions and questions that will come up. And the more you participate, the more fun our class can be, hearing responses from people all around the world. So inshallah, we are going to get started. So we're going to start off by reflecting on a verse of the Holy Quran. The verse we are going to reflect on comes from Surah Rum, which is Surah 30 and Ayat 22 that we are looking at. The meaning of this ayat is, among his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the difference of your languages and colors. Does anyone have any guesses on what they think this verse is going to talk about? I want to guess. So we are going to discuss about this verse based on its meaning. Anyone have any guesses? One hint can be if we look at the word differences. Anyone have any guesses on why this verse is so important and why there's so much we can learn about? Excellent. It makes reference to race, different races and religions. Excellent. Even though we have different colors, very good. Everyone is equal in the eyes of Allah. Excellent. Very good. So what this verse tells us is, if we look at all the people around the world, there are people of different cultures, races, people with different eye colors, hair colors, all different types of things. And during the time of the Holy Prophet, the Arabs thought that they were better than everyone for what they had and everything the way they were. This verse tells us that no matter what race we belong to, what color we may be, the languages we speak, everyone is equal in those characteristics that we have, But there are certain ways that can make one person excel and be better than another. When people had told the Prophet when they felt that they were better and deserved more respect than other, the Holy Prophet had replied to them with a beautiful example. And if you want to guess what this example involves, you can see the comb that is also on this slide because he actually uses the example of a comb, an item that we may have in our house that we use when we comb our hair. This is a beautiful example that the Holy Prophet uses. The Holy Prophet said to them, "Surely all of mankind from the time of Adam until our time are like the teeth of a comb, all equal to one another. And there is no greatness for an Arab over a non-Arab, and no greatness for a red-skinned person over a black-skinned person, except due to one's consciousness of Allah." Isn't that a beautiful way that the Holy Prophet shows us that no matter what color and tribe that we belong to, what can make one person greater, better, is that connection and consciousness they have with Allah. And that is what we are also going to be discussing, is how to form that strong consciousness of Allah throughout our life. That is going to be one of our missions that we are going to focus on throughout this course. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be looking at a part from Nahjul Balagha. So for some of you, you may not be familiar with what this special book is of Nahjul Balagha. Some of you may be based on other courses that you would have taken or what you've heard about. So now a question for all of you. What is one fact that you know about Nahjul Balagha? If you know any facts about Nahjul Balagha, feel free to write it in the chat box. Very good. I see lots of answers coming up. That's right. It was written by Imam Ali. That is right. Excellent. It also has sermons. Imam Ali alayhi salam recited. Very good. Wow, looks like a lot of you know so much already about Nahjul Balagha, which is so wonderful to see. That's right. It also has hadiths from Imam Ali. There's lots of sermons that he recited. Very good. Excellent. We're also going to be talking about who compiled it. Excellent. Okay, that's right. Very good. Excellent. Wonderful answers coming up. Legacy, compilation, very good. This book, very nice. Excellent. So let's start by talking about some other facts about Nahjul Balagha. So Nahjul Balagha is a collection of sermons, letters, and sayings of Imam Ali alayhi salam dealing with different religious topics, as well as how to be pious and prepare for the hereafter. Sharif already compiled the words of Imam Ali alayhi salam into a book called Nahjul Balagha, which means the peak of eloquence. That is a little information about Nahjul Balagha. So before we get into the portion of Nahjul Balagha that we will get to be covering in our class today, first I want you to think of like we are going on a special space mission. Our mission is to reach high levels of God consciousness in our lives to allow our faith to soar through high levels. And I know this may sound like a really, really big mission and something big that we want to be able to accomplish by the end of this course. We're going to be able to do and cover this mission in two parts. The first part is what we will be looking at today in our class. First, we will learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the abilities and blessings that He has given us and blessed us with. He has given us so much that before we are able to have this God consciousness in us, we have to see how much amazing things He has given us. And I see lots of claps and thumbs up, which is so wonderful that you guys are super excited to be going on this special mission with us. And in this class, we're going to be amazed at how much Allah has given us, how much He has honored us. And then next class, we're going to take in all that information on all the amazing things Allah has given us. And we are going to see how we can take that and understand taqwa and how we can apply this knowledge to strengthen our relationship with Allah. So are we ready to go on this special mission and start? Let's start this special mission. So the khutbah that we are going to be looking at is khutbah 83 from Nahjul Balagha, which is an amazing khutbah. This khutbah is known as Khutbatul Gara. Gara means brilliant. So it literally refers to the brilliant khutbah that is so beautiful, that contains so many amazing things in it. So wonderful to see that everyone's so excited to be going on this mission and seeing what this amazing khutbah contains. This khutbah is so amazing that Sayyid Reddy had said to people began to tremble and were crying when Imam gave this khutbah. That shows us how amazing this khutbah really is. It's so amazing because the words are so powerful that people actually began to tremble. Okay, are we ready to go into this khutbah and see how it is so amazing? Okay, so let's get into this khutbah. Got to see lots of yeses. Wonderful. So this beautiful khutbah begins by saying, "Praise be to Allah, who is high above all else and is near the creation through His bounty. He is the giver of all reward and excellence and can remove all calamities and hardships. I praise Him for His continuous mercy and His many bounties." You can see in this part of the khutbah, it describes so many beautiful qualities of Allah. So when you read this part of the khutbah, what are some of these qualities that you think that very special that you'd like to share with us? Very good. That's right. It talks about His generosity, how Allah is so generous. He is the giver of all reward. Excellent. He's high above everyone else. Excellent. His mercy, that's right. He's compassionate. Wonderful. Very good. He can remove all calamities and hardships. Good. His love for us. Very good. He is near. He is fair. He is merciful. Very nice. He is high above all else. Very good. So wonderful, everyone, is that we are able to get just from looking at this small portion of this khutbah. He is compassionate. Very good. He is fair. Excellent. He is the giver of all reward. Very good. He always responds to our prayers. Very good. His many bounties. He's peaceful, comparable. Very good. He is very merciful. Excellent. So now you actually get to hear a story about understanding the high status of Allah. And the title of this story Is There a God? And some of you may have heard this story before, some of you may not. But I want you to think about this story and think about what is a lesson that we can learn from this story. So the story begins with once upon a time, there was a king, and he was a wise man too. In his kingdom, used to live many other wise men. Now, some of these would not agree to believe that God did exist, while others not only agreed, but argued to the satisfaction of the king that there was God. The king, being a wise man, arranged for a discussion. The date and time for discussion was fixed. The king held his court at the appointed time on the appointed day. The non-believers assembled in his presence, but the believing wise men did not come at the appointed time. The people waited and waited till they lost their patience and uttered the words, "He has no argument to advance and support his conviction, so he will not come. He has lost. We have won." At last, the wise man arrived, and there was an uproar in the court of the king. The people cried, "Why are you late? You have lost." The king asked him to explain the cause of his delay. The believing wise man explained, saying, "I started from my home in time, but when I came by the side of the river, which I had to cross before reaching here, I did not find a single boat by which I could cross and reach the opposite bank." Up to this point, the disbelieving man heard him patiently and did not say a single word. The believing man then continued, "I waited and waited till at last I saw some planks of wood coming out of the river." And the unbelieving man began to shout, "Oh, it is a lie! It is unbelievable! It is unthinkable!" Continued the believing wise man. "Plank by plank came out of the river, and then I saw the planks were cut to their proper sizes and shapes, and joined to each other with nails by themselves, until they formed a boat. And then I took my seat in it and came over to the bank. I am late because of the delay in the availability of the boat." Big Amid a roar of the non-believing man, the believing wise man tried to convince them of the cause of the delay, but the opponents would not believe him. Then he said, "You do not believe what I say. It appears the story of the boat forming by itself is something impossible for you to believe. Now, in the name of justice, I ask you, do you see the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the skies? Everything is set according to a plan, but you say it came to existence without a creator. In other words, you deny the existence of God. How fair is your statement? Reasonable and justified?" This silenced them all, and there was no answer to this. So the non-believers lost and the believers won. What is a lesson that we can learn from this story? The king, right? So it was good that the king had organized it. Very good. Allah is the best of planners. That's correct. Allah has made everything in its proper form. Think about like the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars. So the wise man, one of the key things that he had told them was that he reminded them that the people who didn't believe found it hard to believe that the boat formed by itself. That was one of the things. So the same way he said, the earth, the sun, the moon, there has to be somebody that created. It wouldn't just pop up. There needs to be that creator that made it. That creator was the presence of Allah is proof that to the non-believers that there is a God to follow. Allah is the best. He can do everything excellent. Allah can tell the future and made him for a reason. Very good. Allah is all powerful. Very good. And this is also a powerful reminder to us that Allah is the planner of everything in creation. And we need to remind ourselves throughout our lives, that everything in our life has been planned by Allah. And we need to be grateful for all the wonderful things that He has given us in this world. Does anything He wants and does it on His own will. Very good. He's the most knowledgeable. Very good. Excellent. It is Allah's plan. Very good. So may the future. Very good. So excellent. So now that we have a stronger knowledge on Allah's presence and the wonderful things that He has blessed us with in this earth, let's continue to explore more of this wonderful khutbah that is there. So then the next part of this khutbah, what it states is, I believe in Him as He is the first of all. I seek guidance from Him as He is near and is the guide. I seek His help as He is mighty and can overcome all forces. I depend upon Him as He is sufficer and supporter. And I stand witness that Muhammad, blessings of Allah be on him and his progeny, and the slave of his prophet. What are some ways you seek help and guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you read this? This is a beautiful job. Excellent during hard times that we struggle. Very good when we pray, when we make dua. The Imam does a beautiful job in this part, showing us the importance and how we can seek this help and guidance from Allah. That is right. Is Noor excellent? Say Bismillah before we do anything. Very good. When we make dua, excellent. To read Quran, excellent. We are reading the Holy Quran, excellent. Doing sajda, very good. When we are reciting duas, excellent. So then the next part of this khutbah is actually really interesting. When we think about this next part of this khutbah, it's almost like we are going in a time machine back in time when we think about when we were really little. When we were a small baby and infant, and how we gradually grew up, and some of these blessings that Allah had given us. The Imam says in the next part, we are suckling infant, then child, and then fully grown up young man. Then He gave him heart with memory, tongue to talk, and eyes to see with, in order that he may take lesson from whatever is around him, and understand it and follow the admonition and abstain from evil. What are some of the blessings that Allah had given you from when you were born? A tongue to talk with, that's right, sight, loving parents, very good feet, a house, needed to walk, eyes, a mom and a dad, very good, family, that's right, a life to live, to be able to hear, excellent food, our bodies, shelter. These are some of these beautiful blessings that we had from the time we were born that we may not have realized because we were really, really small. That's right. Safety, loving family, family leg, heart from memory. Some of these beautiful things that the Imam is able to capture by allowing us to think back from when we were small, and as we gradually begin to grow up, all these blessings that we had. That's right. Your brother, bed, parents with money, bed, the ability to learn, all these beautiful things that we are able to think about if we almost do a timeline from when we were little to where we are now. These wonderful things we are able to think of. And that's right, our life and all that we have. Now, the next part of the khutbah is also very special, because in the previous past, we looked at almost like a timeline from when we were just born to where we are now. In the next part, we are almost able to dissect and go closer in to these body parts and some of the beauties that these body parts provide us with. In this part, it states, He has made for you ears to preserve what is important, eyes to have sight in place of blindness, and limbs which consist of many smaller parts. Those curves are in proportion with the molding of their shapes and lengths of their ages, and also bodies that are sustaining themselves, and hearts that are busy in search of their food, besides other big bounties, laying, bestowing fortress of safety. What are some of the body parts that are being described in this part of the khutbah? Eyes and ears are described. Excellent. Ears. Very good. The eyes. And when we see things with our eyes, do we always realize and thank Allah for these amazing eyes that He gave us to do whatever we wanted? How fortunate we are. Because if we think about it, these body parts we have, there are many people in this world that don't have eyes to see, that are blind, that may not have ears to hear, and that are deaf, may not have bodies to allow them to be able to move around. Sometimes when we are using our different body parts, we don't realize how fortunate we are to be able to have these wonderful body parts that allow us to do what we want to do. So one of the important things for us to remember is to try to be mindful. And what this means is when we are using our eyes, to always remember that this is a beautiful blessing that Allah has given us, and that we should thank Him for this. And we should make sure, same way with our ears and all the other body parts, we use these body parts to gain closeness to Allah, as He's the one that gave it to us. We make sure we don't use these different body parts to do bad things, horrible things. We use these blessings of Allah in the best way possible, and always think to make sure we are using these gifts that we have in the best way. That's right. The other blessings that we are able to use, talk and communicate, the mouth that He gave us. So always be mindful of these different blessings in terms of the body parts that we have, and always make sure using them to do good and gain closeness to Allah. And thank Him for these wonderful blessings that you have been given. So now we're going to talk about how we can utilize the blessings that Allah gave us to do positive things. So one example is Allah has blessed us with our heart to love others for the sake of the command of God. Because sometimes it may be hard. It may be like we have one heart, we can only love one thing. So now we are actually you actually get to hear another story. And the title of this story is how can you have two loves in your heart? So the story begins. Well, Bibi Zainab was the daughter of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. She was a sister of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. She was present at the Battle of Karbala. When her brother Imam Hussein was killed, she was taken prisoner. She was a spokesman for all the prisoners. She gave an excellent speech. Her speech is very famous up to now. So Bibi Zainab famous for her divine virtues, which are a beacon of light for all Muslims. Once, when Bibi Zainab was a very young girl, she went to her father Ali and said, "Oh, father, do you love me?" We could probably all guess the reply that probably came from her father. The reply was, "Certainly, my darling, I do love you," replied the father. Again, Bibi Zainab asks, "Do you also love Allah?" The reply that came was, "Of course I do love Allah, my child," replied the father. Bibi Zainab was puzzled with the reply. She asked again, "Oh, father, how it is possible to have two loves in one heart?" Her father was pleased with the question. He smiled and replied, "Dear child, I love you because it is Allah's command to love one's children. In loving you, I love God." This reminds us of the importance of loving others for the sake of the command of God. Beautiful story that shows that in our hearts that has the ability to love, how we can use that heart that we have to gain closeness to Allah. So we can do right now is we can think about what are some people in our life that we really, really love and have that strong loving connection with. And that way we can love those people for the sake of the command of Allah. That's right. See, wonderful answers. Family, my mom, very good. My mom, very good. Cousin, mom and dad, very good. So all of these things are one of the ways when we show love is when we show this special love, when we love Allah and we love these people, we are using that gift of the love in our heart to be able to do that. Family, very good. Lubayt, excellent. Wonderful answer. So this is something that we can always constantly think about within our lives. The Masumin, excellent. Family, very good. Yourself and your family, good. The Imams, excellent. Allah, very good. The Prophet, your classmates, excellent. The Ahlul Bayt, teachers, very good. That's right. These are all people that we can utilize. Townsfolk, very good. So now it's time for a thinking question. So Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, the greatest wisdom is for the human being to know himself and to remain within his limits. which is amazing because sometimes we don't think about the importance it is of knowing ourselves. So now a question for all of you. What is one strength that Allah has blessed you with? Think back to yourself and all the different things you do to give you ideas. What is a strength that you feel you have been blessed with? Walking, very good. A brain, the ability to talk, excellent. Kindness, very good. Seeing, to run, knowledge, generosity. Yeah. When we talk about strength, we talk about one of the abilities that we have to be able to do something. One of the blessings that helps us to be able to do it could be an action that you feel that Allah has been able to give you, that has blessed you with. Could be a quality that you have. Good. Honesty, be able to play games, that's right. To communicate, be thankful, wisdom, to pray, humbleness, hardworking, to give charity, very good. Jobs, honesty, hearing. And it's important for us within our lives to take time to think about these things because knowing ourselves, as the Imam describes, is a great wisdom. We always need to think about our strengths, and then as well other things when we also want to know ourselves is also to think about our weaknesses, to know what are areas in our lives that we can improve on to be an even better person. This will help us to be able to have more wisdom. Wonderful strengths that are coming up, and I want you to also make sure that you remember these strengths that you're thinking about and writing, because at the end there will be a special activity that is optional that you'll get to do that will be touching on some of these strengths that you will be have. So always make sure you think about this because it will make doing this activity a little bit easier if you still have this. You're thinking about these strengths. So excellent. So let us continue. So now we are going to talk about a special verse from the Holy Quran that reflects upon our amazing status that we are given as human beings on this earth. Because sometimes we don't realize it, but Allah has blessed us with an amazing high status on this earth. He has honored us so much beyond what we may be aware of. So in this surah, Surah Al-Isra, Surah 17, Ayat 70, it says, "Surely we have honored the children of Adam." Here's some of the thoughts that come to mind just when we read the meaning of this verse. That's right, to be human, we have a special role that Allah has blessed us with. So one of the special things is Allah tells us that He has honored the children of Adam that we are. Prophet Adam, that's right. This statement reminds us that the human beings that we have such a high status that we may not be aware of. There are few reasons and examples of how we have this really high status. One of the ways is we have the spirit of Allah within us. We are not only people that have been just made of clay. Sometimes we may think that that's the only way we are created, just from the clay. But there is so much more involved. Allah actually put His spirit in us. This is why in Surah 15, ayah 28 and 29, it says, "So when I have made him complete and breathe into him my spirit, fall down in prostration to him." Sometimes we don't realize it, but there's a special spirit of Allah that He has blessed us with. This is so special, and this comes from when you are born. This is so amazing that we have that we don't realize it. If we think about it, animals don't have this special spirit. And there are certain creations that may not have this special spirit that Allah has blessed us with. It's so amazing for us to think about. And this is only one of the first reason for why we have this high status. There are other reasons of why we have this special status as well. The second way on why we have this super status, wonderful that people want to hear more about this. And that's right. We should be more aware of these attributes. It is amazing. So the second way is we are the representatives of Allah on earth. This is why in the Holy Quran, there's also a verse that says, "And when your Lord said to the angels, I am going to place in the earth a Khalifa." Allah's representative is sent on his earth to look after his creation and work on his behalf. This is a special responsibility we have and a privilege. This tells us that being the representative of Allah, we have a special duty on this earth. Look after the creation and work on His behalf. We need to make sure we do good actions because we have this high status. We need to make sure we show respect, loving towards the creations of Allah, because this is a special honor that we have been given as human beings on this earth. The third way on why we have a high status, does anyone want to guess what the third reason is? On the example of how we have such a high status, does anyone have any guesses? We're two-sided. Would you like to explain how we are two-sided? We are the best of creations. Muslim, very good. I'll give you a hint on what the next reason is. Think about your brain and the brain of other creations such as animals. What is the difference between our brain and the one of other creations such as animals? There's one key thing that's different. The ability. What is that ability in our brains? We have free will, good. The brain, thinking with our brain, that's right. We have been blessed with intelligence. Intelligence has also been described by Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam in his famous hadith that the intelligent aql is that through which Allah, all merciful, worship and the paradise or the gardens are acquired. The distinguishing factor between insan, which is us, and other creations is the faculty of intelligence, which is superior to all else when used in the correct manner. Our intelligence is so special, we sometimes don't realize it. Animals and other creations, some want food, clothing, shelter, but we are able to do that, and we are able to think, to rationalize, think about different things, have knowledge, take in information, applied in our lives. This is very special about the way Allah has blessed us with intelligence within our minds. That's right, we can plan things. That's something that other creations may not be able to do. Our brains have the ability to do this special thing that other creations may not be able to do. We also, that's right, it also helps us to have kindness, very good. That is why it's important for us to always make sure that we reflect. Are we using the special gift of intelligence in the best way possible? Allah has blessed us with the ability to think of different things and reflect. Are we using it in the best way to get closer to Allah? That's always something that we need to make sure that we think about within our lives. That is so important. And does anyone want to guess what the last and the fourth reason is of this high status that we have? Are there any guesses on on example? So intelligent in the best way, that's right. After intelligent, what is another example of how we have this high status? Any guesses? I want to guess what the fourth and the last reason is of how this high status is described. That's right, we are children of Adam. That's right, we have been given so much more than other creations. That's right. That's right. Excellent. The fourth reason is we have the potential for greatness. We have the potential to do so many amazing things in our life, so many great things. And this has been described when the human being can rise to great heights. We can reach newer levels. We have the ability to work towards more and more perfection each day. Basically, we can think of ourselves as like a tree that can continue to grow and strengthen, pleasing Allah and achieving success. So now, based on this fourth reason, I want you to think about, since Allah has blessed us with this ability for great potential and to do greatness, what is one thing in your life that you think you can do? I hope you'd achieve this greatness and also please Allah at the same time that you would like to do. We are children of Adam. Good. Do prayers, pray, help others. That's right. Do dua. We have this potential to reflect on how we do every day and also form ways to improve in this area. Ask Allah for help. That's right. 313. Excellent. Fatima, be kind person, read the Quran. And this is something that what we can do is we can try to form goals for ourselves. Since we have this potential for greatness, we can take a few minutes and think about what are goals that we can set for ourselves for how we want to be able to achieve this greatness. We can practice what we learn. Excellent. We can keep close to Allah. Excellent. And we can practice what we learn. Very good. We can share our knowledge with others. We can teach others the real Islam. Excellent. We can read the Holy Quran, be kinder. And also some of these potentials for greatness you are thinking about, sure you keep a note of them, because in the activity, you also will get the opportunity to make reference to these different things. Do something wrong, we can always try again and make goals. That's right. We can always also ask for forgiveness. Also, we can always get help and want to, very good. We also want to be a pious person. That's right. These are all ways we can take that high status Allah has given us and be able to apply it to help and be the best person possible. A person that, inshallah, Allah will be proud of. And then we also want to make sure we read dua. Excellent. Be humble. Very good. Excellent. Do charity. Excellent. Be wise. Generous. Very good. Give to the poor. Wonderful. Wonderful ideas. And inshallah, Allah blesses us with the ability to be able to do these good things for greatness. Teach people good, guide people to the right path. Very good. Go to Hajj, being honest. Now, before we continue with the next part, the presentation, time to see how much you remember from the previous slides. So now there's a survey that you can actually do to see if you remember a few things that we talked about today. So the first question is, you can see on the slide, which khutbah in Nahjul Balagha did we look at today? Wow. Looks like everyone's been paying attention a lot. Excellent. Wow. A few seconds to think about. This, as a hint, was one of the khutbahs that was super special and magnificent that made people tremble. A few seconds to think about which khutbah you think it was. It looks like so far have people guessing 5. A lot of people guessing number 83. And then we also have some people that have been guessing number 104. Seems like the majority so far have been guessing number 83. If you missed it from the beginning, don't worry. We're going to reveal what the correct answer is. So far, it looks like people are guessing 83. We have more going up for 83. Give you 30 more seconds to cast your vote before we're going to be revealing the correct answer to this question. Okay, and the correct answer to the khutbah we looked at today is number 83. Good job. And those, even if you didn't guess it correctly, that's okay. Now you know the main khutbah that we were able to start looking at today. So good job. Excellent. Now, another question to get you thinking. And this question may be involve a little bit more thinking than the other one that we looked at. The next question is coming up. The next question is, which Imam had said, the greatest wisdom is for the human being to know himself and to remain within his limits? Oh, so far we have some guesses for Imam Ali alayhi salam. Oh, so far looks like most people are guessing Imam Ali alayhi salam. So far no one's guessed Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. Wow, so far all the guesses are going for Imam Ali alayhi salam. Wow, no guesses for the other two choices. Wow, so be interesting. Will everybody be correct or will everyone be incorrect? 30 more seconds if you haven't chosen your option before we reveal the correct answer. AS means alayhi salam. And the correct answer for the Imam that has said this is Imam Ali alayhi salam. Excellent. Wow, looks like everyone had gotten the correct answer, which is excellent. That means everybody in this presentation today that was listening has been paying a lot of attention, which is amazing. Excellent. Good job. Now, the next thing we are going to do is, before we continue on to the last slide of the presentation, would everyone love to see the activity that is optional that you get to do after this presentation if you choose? It's a fun activity that you can take some of the knowledge that you learn and apply it. Okay. Looks like everybody wants to see what this activity is going to be. Going to get a picture of it, and then this activity will also be sent in the chat box so you can download it, and it will also be placed on the Academy of Islam website that you can also click on and download. I'm going to show a picture of what this activity will look like. It's optional, you don't have to do it. This is what this activity looks like. This is a positive affirmation bookmark that is optional that you can do. After, we will have one more question, because one of the questions was, will there be more questions? There will be one more poll question that will come up, inshallah, in the end. For this optional activity, what you do is you decorate the bookmark shown on the right-hand side with words and phrases that can fill in the blanks. The fill in the blanks are, I can. In this class, we talked about all the blessings Allah has given us. What is something special that you can do to gain closeness to Allah? And the next one is, I will. What is something you can do with your strengths and abilities to make a positive difference in the world around you? We all have so many amazing blessings and gifts that Allah has given us with. Based on that, you can see how you can fill in this blank. And this is a bookmark that you can use when you read a book, anytime you can also keep it near your bedside when you wake up, almost like your mission statements of what you can do to be a better person. And at the top of this rocket ship, it says, oh Allah, help me, help my faith soar to high levels. So this is the first step today that we are looking at for how we can help our faith reach high levels. Taking these blessings of Allah and using them in the best way. And then next week, we're actually going to be taking it one step further and actually looking at taqwa and how we can apply it within our lives. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be putting the link for this positive affirmation in the bottom that you can click on and download. If you missed the link, it will also be posted on the website that we will be sharing with you at the end of the presentation, where you can also download it from. And also, we will still be having one more poll question that will be coming up. So right now, look at the chat box because it will be posted down there. So where it says click here to download positive affirmation bookmark, if you click on that file, you should be able to access the document. Now we have one more slide, and then what we are going to do is there will be one more poll question that we will be looking at. So if you enjoyed the other two poll questions, there is one more that will come up. So this wonderful course and this opportunity to be able to explore Nahjul Balagha has been provided to us by the Academy for Learning Islam. If you visit their website, you will see they also have some amazing on-site and online courses, weekly Quran reflections, different publications, retreats, camps, and other resourceful websites. So if you also want to be able to see previous courses on Nahjul Balagha for kids that have been done in the past, this is the website where you can go to learn more about that, more information about that. And also, if you missed any of the slides as well as the activity, it will be posted on this website, which is www.academyofislam.com. This Academy for Learning Islam is for both adults and kids. It's for everyone. So now what we are going to be doing is we are going to be moving on to our final poll question. The final poll question is, how many facts from the presentation today do you feel you can apply in your life? Wow. Like so far we have two people that said 4 or more facts. 3 facts, 2 facts. Wow. Wow, looks like so many people are choosing 4 or more facts. That is so wonderful. 3 facts, 2 facts. Wow. That is so wonderful to hear that so many people have been able to pick up more than 1 fact too. So far, no one said 1, so that is wonderful. 4 or more facts. Excellent. That is great. And if you would like this presentation to be shared, or if you would like your activity to be shared on the slide, you can email me. I'm going to put my email at the bottom, your completed positive affirmation bookmark, and it can then be shared with other people in the next class. So if you want me to share your positive affirmation bookmark, please make sure you email it to me at this email address I am posting. Make sure you email it by Wednesday. So when the question is there a fee to see the online courses in the Academy of Islam website? No, there's no fee to be able to view the online courses and the recordings. So I am posting my email address if you want your positive affirmation bookmark to be shown in next week's presentation. Please email it to my email address by Wednesday, and inshallah, I will be showing it in the next class. So this is my email address. Please write it down, and then you can email it to me if you want your presentation, if you want your positive affirmation to be shown bookmark. So inshallah, hope this class was helpful for everyone and you learned a lot. And inshallah, looking forward to seeing you all next week, the same time. Thank you so much, everyone.